Charizard, 6,000 coins in the bin. Do not spend 6,000 coins on Charizard. Oh, actually, how much is Clefable? 12,000. Oh, nah. Nah. That's a waste. That's a waste of coins. I think it's worth the coins, right? It's very strong. It's very high skill cap. But you could probably say it's a similar conversation with Dodrio. I might just keep it here to upset a couple of people. This is the tier list right here on the screen. You're seeing it. These are the 5 must-buy Pokemon. We've got our attacker, supporter, defender, speedster, and all-rounder. If you're buying one of the next class and you don't have either of those, that is the Pokemon that you're buying. So today we're going to cover a tier list on pretty much the value of what a Pokemon's worth, in my opinion, in solo queue. So I've got must buy, worth the coins, an interesting purchase, an absolute waste of coins, and the Pokemon that should be free here. And as a reference, I've got how much each license costs. Okay, and I'm going to go through them out in alphabetical order. After I'm going to put the 5 must buy, and these 5 must buy, I've got 1 attacker, 1 defender, 1 supporter, 1 speedster, and 1 all-arounder. So the absolute number 1, and I know I'm going to get absolutely flamed for this, the number 1 I think is the most valuable attacker is Espeon. You can learn to play the game with this Pokemon incredibly well in solo queue. You don't have to jungle, you can go to the top or the bottom lane, and this Pokemon allows you to learn your macro really well. That's what you're focusing on. So absolutely, Espeon is number 1 for my attacker. My number 1 supporter would have to be Eldegoss. It would be Hooper, but I just think Hooper is a little bit too complicated for the majority of players in solo queue. So Hooper is absolutely worth the coins, but it is a must buy. Maybe not. I would invest the skill in using Eldegoss as a supporter. If I was to pick a defender, I still do think it's Umbreon. The simplicity of this Pokemon is just, it's so great. And the fact that Mean Look just punishes the average solo queue player with their poor macro decisions is an absolute must buy for me. Right now, if I had to put it to a speedster, although I'm not a huge fan of the speedsters, if I was pinning it down to 1, I would honestly, I'd have to go with Leafeon, right? I'd have to go with Leafeon. This Pokemon is, it's fairly simple to use. It's very mobile, and its Unite move can absolutely nuke something quite easily, whereas the others require a little bit more skill. And if I was to pin it down to 1 all-arounder, as much as I'd love to say Aegislash, I'm a very, very big fan of Aegislash. I know I'm going to get hate for this, but guys, it has got to be Mewtwo X. This Pokemon is going to be allowed in tournaments. It's incredibly strong. It's quite simple to use. But if you are pretty ordinary at the game, you're not just going to pick up Mewtwo X and win games automatically. You've got to know how to jungle. You've got to understand how this Pokemon works. Yes, it's simple compared to other Pokemon, but those are the 5 must buy, guys. 5 must-buy Pokemon if you are looking at a particular class and improving in Pokemon Unite. Now let's go through them. Absol, honestly, in my opinion, it did get a recent buff. If I hadn't bought it yet, I still think it's a bit of an interesting purchase just because there are other things that do this role really well. At this point in time, Aegislash is absolute waste of coins. And it pains me to say this, but Aegislash, unfortunately, is just... it's just not cutting the mustard, a little bit too much CC, right, in the meta. Azumarill, I think, is an interesting buy. There are other Pokemon in this particular role that can do it. Now I'm going to go through, again, these are Pokemon that are worth like roughly 10,000 coins each. And if we, go through to Blaziken, I believe Blaziken's 12,000 or 14,000 coins. Honestly, it's just not quite, like, if you've got a lot of characters to pick from, I probably wouldn't be going for Blaziken personally. Blastoise is one of the earlier ones. It's a more of a cheaper option, 8,000 coins. Guys, Blastoise is absolutely worth the coins. If you want to go this top lane stacking role, or even just play him as a defender, it's very versatile. You can do a lot of different roles with the different builds, and there's some guides. I've got a guide on Blastoise, so absolutely worth the coins. If you're on the fence with Blastoise, I would be picking that Pokemon up. Now, Blissey and Buzzswole and Chandelure, so we're getting, it's a little bit weird here, right? So Blissey is absolutely worth the coins. Blissey is an incredible pick. I would absolutely be advocating for people to play Blissey and Pokemon Unite. Buzzswole is 12,000. Look, Buzzswole is pretty good in 5-stack. It's pretty good with some coordination, but if you're in there by yourself without some support and you're pretty poor at timing your full heals and stuff like that, you're not going to have fun time in a typical solo queue game with Buzzwell. So I probably put it as an interesting buy unless it's something you're absolutely invested in. Chandelure, I think, is an interesting buy again. These are Pokemon that are not a waste of coins, right? They're pretty good. They're pretty fun. You can do well with all of these Pokemon so far, but I just think there's better options, right? Charizard, 6,000 coins in the bin. Do not spend 6,000 coins on Charizard. This Pokemon is semi-unplayable, and whatever Charizard does is something else that does it better. Save the 6,000 coins. I'd rather have a half of another Pokemon, right? Clefable is absolutely... actually, how much is Clefable? 12,000. Oh, nah. That's a waste. That's a waste of coins. Now, I'm only going to say this because there is a new item, right? And it debuffs the healing. And the healing of Clefable is not bursty enough. So it's just going to get reduced by 30% by each tick. And it's just, yeah, it's not that great. 12,000 coins. Nah, that's a no from me. Comfey, honestly, I actually think Comfey's worth the coins. It's 12,000. You can play this with a duo well. You can play this with a trio well. If you recognize someone who's absolutely amazing in solo queue, if you look at their name, like if you get queued with, I don't know, one of the best players in the game and you recognize their name, you can just pick Comfey and attach onto them, and it's likely that they're going to carry your lobby. So absolutely worth the coins. This is something I like to do as well myself. If I've got someone who's very, very good in my lobby, I'll pick Comfey and I'll just attach to them, and I'll support them with their hopes and dreams. Cramorant, 8,000 coins. It's not a waste. It's just interesting. This is solo queue, right? Cramorant has got some good functionality. It does its role pretty well. It can win lane. Yeah, so I think, look, if you purchased, you know, Cramorant over Espeon or Mew or Inteleon, I'd be saying that's an interesting purchase. I probably wouldn't say it's an absolute waste. Decidueye's 10,000 coins. Same as Delphox. Oh. Okay, well, I can tell you right now, Dragapult is an absolute waste of coins. Do not buy Dragapult, guys. Even if you love this Pokemon, I probably still wouldn't be picking it. Decidueye, I think, is... Nah. Again, this is a Pokemon I really, really like, but not right now. Not right now. It doesn't cut it. Delphox, I think Delphox is worth the coins. I think Delphox can... It's one of these Pokemon that's mage and you can take into the jungle, and it can do a really good job in the jungle as long as you're on top of your early rotations. It's got a very good Unite move. It's very zonal. It's quite... It requires skill, but not too much skill, and it's also got versatility between the two builds, so you're not kind of just locked into one particular thing that you can do with Delphox. Dodrio has 14,000 coins. For the average solo queue player who's fairly new to this game, this is a waste. This Pokemon is very complicated to use. I myself would personally purchase Dodrio in practice, but for the average person who is fairly new to MOBA game, I would probably not be purchasing Dodrio. Those 14,000 coins can go elsewhere, and by the time you practice and learn the game and save up those 14,000, you can be spending that definitely somewhere else. Dragonite, how much is he worth? 10 grand. Nah. That's a waste. Same as Duraludon. It's just a waste. There's always going to be buys with Duraludon. I've got a bone to pick with Duraludon, and I'm already going to put Sableye in the waste of coins, right? These Pokemon are just... it's very easy to do nothing with these Pokemon. Especially something like Dragonite. Dragonite can level 8 evolution. If you're getting hard being in lane... yeah, I'm not a fan of these three Pokemon, and I'm also... Yeah, I'm just not a fan. Okay, Garchomp, how much is he worth? 10 grand. Garchomp's worth it. Garchomp's worth the coins, right? If you're on the fence with a Pokemon and you of course look at the Pokemon and maybe see if you can use it in practice mode and see if you like it, or maybe see if it's on the free rotation and use it in a couple standard games. Obviously try before you buy, but this Pokemon, in my opinion, if you learn to use it, I think you're going to get some pretty good value. Gardevoir is absolutely 100% worth the coins, right? There's two builds you can use with it. Its Unite move is incredible, especially in this meta. The Gardevoir Unite move, you think of what's strong at the moment, right? It's the Umbreon, it's the Lapras, it's the Zacian, it's the Mewtwo X, right? It's a lot of these Pokemon that get clumped in an AoE, and Gardevoir Future Sight can do amazing AoE damage. Practice this Pokemon, buy this Pokemon. I'm definitely a fan. Gengar, absolute waste of coins. Right, it's a similar conversation with Dodrio. I just don't think they are very good. I mean, okay, Dodrio is not part of this conversation. Dodrio is a great Pokemon, but extremely high skill cap. Gengar, on the other hand, is not that high skill cap and doesn't give you the value that you deserve. And if you've got 10,000 coins and you've got other Pokemon to spend it on, I would say if you're buying Gengar, it's just a bit of a waste in my opinion. And I'm going to put Glaceon as well. How much is Glaceon? 12 grand. No way. Get rid of that. Goodra is 12k as well. It's an interesting buy, right? If you've got the money, you can buy it, but I would definitely be picking something else that's higher up on this tier list if you were considering what I need to buy for my coins. Greedent is an absolute waste of coins, right? How much is it? I think it's 8 grand. 8,000 spent elsewhere. Absolutely spent elsewhere. Hooper's $10,000. Hooper's worth the coins. Absolutely worth the coins, guys. Hooper is incredibly fun Pokemon. I've got a guide on Hooper. I'm going to put out another guide. That's how much I love Hooper. I'm going to put out another guide on Hooper, and it's just learn how to play Hooper. You'll be so surprised at how well you can do in your solo queue lobbies. Inteleon's worth the coins. Lapras worth the coins, right? These Pokemon are very, very strong in the current meta right now. So if you're on the fence with buying them, I'd save up your coins. That'd definitely be one of my next purchases. Lucario is honestly a bit of actually, because you just got a Power Punch build, I'd say you're locking yourself into playing one build with, how much is he? 10 grand? Lucario, 10 grand. Yeah. Machamp 8, Mamoswine 8. Don't know. Okay, well, Mamo's a waste. And Machamp, honestly, is... Machamp's, guys, Machamp's a bit of a waste, right? If you've got the money, if you've been playing early on, you probably should have Machamp already because it was one of first on release, but yeah, I probably wouldn't. Mimikyu, I don't think he's worth it. I just don't think... If you've got the coins, you've got the gems, so you want to play this Pokemon, and you've got the disposable income, absolutely, but yeah, I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't Mimikyu. Mew is worth 15,000 coins. Now, this is a case of it's either going to be an absolute waste of coins, or it's either one of your must-buy Pokemon, right? Mew, you need to invest in this Pokemon. Now, if you're looking for some Mew guides, there's a person called Midnight Foxy, and he is in my opinion, probably the best Mew player in the world. This guy's absolutely phenomenal. He's English as second language and is providing guides on how to play Mew, and has done some pretty decent editing to put these together. I personally am trying to hop on the Mew grind. Is it worth the coins? 15,000. I think it's worth the coins, right? It's very strong. It's very high skill cap, but you could probably say it's a similar conversation with Dodrio. I might just keep it here to upset a couple of people. Mewtwo Y is still pretty strong. He's probably still the best auto hitter in the game. So therefore he's probably worth the coins, right? He's probably worth it. Mr. Mime, absolute waste. Pikachu, 6,000 coins, and he's absolutely worth 6,000, right? I think he's 6,000. Where's Pikachu? 6,000, worth every cent. A lot of fun. He's an absolute OG for Pokemon, so you've got to play him. Sizzle is worth 14,000, but you do get Scyther. So you get a bit of 2-in-1 action there. However, they kind of suck. So I think it's an interesting purchase. It's definitely interesting. Snorlax, only because he's cheap, it's an interesting purchase. 6,000, I think he's worth it. He's a pretty good tank. But if you've got money to spend on tank, you've already got Slowbro, you've got Umbreon, you've got Lapras, you've got Blastoise. He's probably down there in the list, but at least he's cheap. So if you want to mix it up and you've got the 6,000, yeah, it's worth it. Sylveon is, yeah, 10,000. Nah. Absolute waste. There's so many other Pokemon that can do this role better. Not worth it. Talonflame is 6,000 coins. Not well spent. Not well spent. Do not buy Talonflame, guys. If you're gonna play this speedster role, this dive role, you've got Zoroark is absolutely worth the coins. Actually, no. He's an interesting purchase. But if you're gonna play that dive Pokemon, probably worth investing in a Pokemon like Zoroark, or you could go Urshifu. Urshifu's worth the coins. You get the Dark Bear and the Water Bear. They're both really cool. They're really fun. They fit different roles. But the only issue is you kind of got to build them differently with items. So you got to make up your mind before you queue into the particular lobby. But yeah, absolutely worth the coins for those guys. Trevenant, in my opinion, how much Trevenant? 10,000 coins. The coolest part about using Trevenant is that you get to feel like Phil Umis when you're playing Trevenant. So just because of that, he's absolutely worth the coins. Serena is a dead waste. Tyranitar is a dead waste. And I'm only saying this with Tyranitar is because unless if you've got absolutely perfect macro for the first 4 minutes of the game, you are going to get dumpstered against half decent players. You're online way too late. And how much is he worth? 14,000. Nah. Tyranitar, use that Pokemon as standards if you want to use it. Wigglytuff, how much is he? 8. Nah, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. Now Zacian, 15,000 coins. Actually, Zoroark's 14? Nah, he's not a waste though. Nah, he's not a waste. Okay, Zacian, last one. Zacian, he's the best Pokemon in the game. That's a problem. He's worth it. He's worth it. If I put it anywhere else, I'm gonna be like, he's got 54 win percent, needs a nerf. He's absolutely worth the coins. Is it a must buy? No. But this Pokemon has got some decent skill cap, is absolutely worth the investment. And yeah, so there you have it. This is the tier list right here on the screen. You're seeing it. These are the 5 must-buy Pokemon. We've got our attacker, supporter, defender, speedster, and all-arounder. If you're buying one of the next class and you don't have either of those, that is the Pokemon that you're buying. These Pokemon in the worth the coins are absolutely worth the coins. If you don't have them and you're thinking about buying one of them, absolutely tick it off. Interesting purchase is you make that buy and me and your friends might judge you. Anything down here in this waste of coins, and maybe you should have watched the video before you purchase that Pokemon. And if you now go and purchase that Pokemon and tell me in the comments, I might be a little bit annoyed. And then these Pokemon in the bottom tier should be free, so we shouldn't have to worry about how much they cost. There you go. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. And guys, if you've stuck around this long, I appreciate it. Give me that thumbs up and watch one of these videos that's up on the screen right here, somewhere where I'm pointing. Have a very good day. Thank you for sticking by and I'm much appreciated. See you guys later.